my friends, this is Kristen Redman, and today we are going to go over the planetary aspects that are making a major impact for this very important astrological week of August 21st through the 27th. And this week we have a pretty rare eclipse going on, and in case you didn't hear about it, this type of eclipse we have not seen since 1999. But also in general, there's a lot of other categories that they place these eclipses in. And on an astrological metaphysical front, it's been about 100 years since we've had this type of eclipse of major change hit us as a whole, but especially just impacting the United States. So this is huge. This is pivotal. This is what I've been talking about for the past year. This is the main event that's been leading up to it. And we've had a lot of shifts and earthquakes that have hit us since September of last year, drastically making changes in our lives, bringing upheaval, bringing the sludge of the past forward to our conscious mind so that we can sift through it, that we can work through it, and move into these new beginnings that ultimately put us on the path that suits us best now. Not us from 5 years ago or 10 years ago or 20 years ago. It's where our soul has evolved to now. And it's huge. This is amazing. It makes an impact on everybody in a different way. Each sun sign gets affected in a different way. And I'll put in the notes below where I have done a video horoscope for each sign and how this eclipse is impacting you the greatest, and where this year is really trying to push through some major new changes for you, because each sign's different. But of course, what am I thinking? Oh my goodness. Each chart is going to be different. Each individual person is going to be different as well. So I always suggest maybe having me do a chart reading for you to kind of dig in a little bit deeper too as well to see where that impacts. But for the rest of us, let's talk about this eclipse. What does it mean, right? I'm sure you've heard about it on like a NASA level on like Good Morning America and all the other news stations. But let's talk about it from a spiritual standpoint. What does it mean? Now, when we have an eclipse, that's when the Earth comes between the sun and the moon. Sorry about that. Somebody stopped by to visit. So like I was saying, now in an eclipse, the Earth comes between the sun and the moon. Now what is happening now, because it's a new moon in the sign of Leo, our second new moon in the sign of Leo too this year. So that's very powerful in itself. That represents new beginnings. In a new moon, the sun and the moon are aligned together. At a full moon, they're in opposition, and that's when you see a bright moon out there in the sky. But in a new moon, it's the opposite. The sun and the moon have aligned together, so there's nothing in the sky. And in that metaphysical term, in the spiritual term of it, the sun represents our outer self, how we direct ourselves, our self, our ego. The moon represents our inner self, our emotional self, our intuitive self. And when they align, that means they take on one another's energy, meaning that our outer self and inner self are in harmony. They take on and they absorb one another's energies and they work together. Now in this time frame, what it's doing is it's focused in the sign of Leo. Leo is the sign that is focused on its needs, its wants. Not everybody else around it necessarily. It's focused on what the lion needs to be happy in itself, to get what it needs, get the appreciation it needs, and the joy that it's looking for. Being in the sign of Leo, it also represents new beginnings that come from following your creative drives, your creative purpose. And so the way I look at it is that this eclipse cycle is about new beginnings that are happening for us in terms of our personal growth and our personal life mission, Leo, in ways that we haven't seen since 1999. Remember, these eclipse cycles are happening in massive transformative periods for us. Okay, so now we're entering into a new phase of our life where we're weighing out areas where maybe where we've been too prideful, okay, because that's the shadow side of Leo. Or it's either maybe we haven't stuck up and up for ourselves, right? It's all about that balance, either where it's the positive side of Leo or the shadow side. So I look at it like a triangle, right? We've got the sun that's out there. And it's in Leo. It's about our pride. It's about our self. It's about our ego. It's about what we are directed to do now in our life now, not later. We're incorporating everything we've learned up to this point. The radiating sun that we are that is ready to shine into its next phase. Then over here we've got the moon, okay? This is a little triangle here. We've got our moon, which represents the new beginnings for us. New beginnings in our phase of being our true self. New beginnings in being our authentic self. New beginnings for creativity, for fun, for romance, for all these things that lead to greater happiness for us, right? New beginnings for our children as well. Leo is very focused on our children, all right? And with this eclipse being in the line of totality that happens in the United States, I see this being a massive impact for us on a 20-year scale like we haven't seen, that affects the United States as a whole, that will ultimately benefit our children, because this is new beginnings, right? It's not about endings. So we have the self, we've got new beginnings, and then over here, the only planet, interestingly enough, that's making a connection with this eclipse that's going to be happening at 2:22 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. The only planet is Uranus. And Uranus rules Leo's opposing and balancing sign of Aquarius. Aquarius is focused on freedom, on liberation, and on being its true, authentic self. It doesn't like for other things to get into that way. It doesn't like to listen and follow the crowd. It likes to do what it wants to do, right? So how cool is that? That we have the planet of freedom that's going to be coming through and helping us to make these massive changes. It's coming through and making a supportive trine, helping these major changes to take place too, right? And today it all starts getting afoot. Here we are, that Sunday before the eclipse. And what's happening now is that Leo sun is making that harmonious trine with Uranus. This is a once-a-year event. What it means is, if you're feeling overwhelmed in a situation, if you're feeling this unbelievable knowledge in your mind that something has to end, a season has to end, something has to change, I know what I need to let go of. If you send that into the universe tonight, and especially into this eclipse cycle tomorrow that's happening, that carries through the next couple of weeks, if you know there's something that you no longer need to put your energy into, now is the time to let that go, okay? Because the freedom comes from Uranus, letting it go and letting through the new beginnings that this eclipse cycle is trying to bring. Send it out in the universe tonight. This is what I am willing to let go of. And I trust that God in the universe will provide me something better in its place, right? You know, your intuition knows. That's the other area of this triangle, right, is that moon that brings the new beginnings. That's your intuition that's working with it. Your gut will always tell you the right way to go. And if your gut's been telling you something repeatedly over and over and over and over again, this won't change, this will never change, listen to it, okay? And this is the cycle that's really going to change that for us. We have that happening, right? Beautiful eclipse that's out there. But we also have other things that are happening as well in this week, too. We have Mars making a connection with Saturn before Saturn leaves its retrograde period at the end of the week. So this is a really big thing because Mars and Saturn are opposing forces. Mars is the fiery planet that wants to initiate things, that wants to initiate these changes, right, that the eclipse is setting in our path. Now, Saturn is the planet that restricts us, that holds us back, that wants us to make a plan before we act. So because of that, you've got impulsive Mars and you've got restrictive Saturn. They butt heads. They don't work together because you've got fire and ice, right? They don't work together. But what's going to happen is they're going to make a connection here on Tuesday. How ironic, that same day after we have this massive eclipse going in, that's saying, if you want to start putting steps in action, or even sending a mental message out into the universe that I am aware of what needs to change, what endings have to occur, and what new beginnings I'm ready to take ownership of, if you send that into that time frame as well, Mars is going to come through and make sure that a new path is blazed for you. And Saturn is also on the other side, making sure that those plans that you're trying to put forward have a good solid footing so they start out good, right? Because then at the end of the week, we have Saturn finally leaving its retrograde phase. And as it does that, and it really gets its momentum going again, Saturn is happy for the remainder of this year as it's moving through the last leg of its sign through Sagittarius. It's really making these solid footings for dreams to come true. Really, truly, right? This is a massive thing. Saturn goes through a sign and it's there for 3 years. So it's just about to leave that Sagittarius sign. And for those of you that are Sagittarians, you have also felt that icy chill of Saturn restricting you, making you get more structure, setting boundaries with yourself and with others, trying to become mature on levels that you haven't, because it's been 30 years since it's been there in your sign. And it's also having that impact on a lot of us too, making us become accountable, more responsible for ourselves ultimately, and the joy that comes in our life, because we are the only masters of the joy and happiness that happens in our life. It really, truly is so real, isn't it? We're the only ones that can control that. So as Saturn gets its momentum going again at the end of this week, those things come to the forefront. Where do I need to restructure some things moving forward? I have this energy. It's been made known to me since this spring. I know what I need to do. Now I'm ready to start making some tangible things go into practice. So maybe it's a matter of sending out those resumes for a new job. Maybe it's admitting to your partner that you're ready to initiate some changes for greater happiness for yourself, or maybe it's time when that ends, because no matter what, so many of you out there, and I've had many clients this year, you understand there's many people out there that are experiencing the Libra going through Jupiter 14-year cycle of relationships ending. This is a year where they do end, that lead to these twin flame soulmate connections that God is intending to bring in that fit your soul now, because both of your souls together work in harmony to live in a life purpose that serves as complementary sides one another. You both incorporate both of them. So no matter what, Saturn, as it goes through the rest of this year, is going to set new foundations for all of us. And leaving its retrograde phase is a perfect sign to start feeling those solid footings really starting to shore up, and that cement starting to firm for that to start going. So not only that, okay, so we've got that Saturn happy, working with Mars, getting motivation going, getting things done this week. We also have the sun moving into the sign of Virgo as well. This happens right after the eclipse. It happens on Monday night. Now, as the sun transits out of Leo, it leaves center stage, because that's what Leo is. It says, I am here, this is me, I have confidence, and I will do what I need to do. Those new beginnings are coming from that, right? And as it takes its final bow, Leo, as it leaves in this beautiful solar eclipse that we'll never see again like this in our lifetime, it gracefully moves into the earthy and practical sign of Virgo. So over the next 4 weeks, we are really going to be focused on analyzing things, analyzing everything around us, and making sure that these new beginnings that are coming foot are very, very well planned out. We're looking to the past as Mercury continues its retrograde phase over the next couple of weeks and stays in that sign of Virgo until October, really looking to the past and saying what needs to change, right? If you haven't already, if those changes haven't happened already, this is the time when the universe is really working with you to make sure solid plans are put into place. But as the sun transits through Virgo, it's more than just analyzing. It's about work. We look to how our physical body works, because Virgo is the hardest working of all the signs. It represents what we do and what we give of ourselves to be of service to others. That gets called into question. The sun shines its light on that. So you'll be looking more so at your daily life. How is your work life going? Do you need to make changes? Are adjustments going to be made in your schedule? Are you thinking of a new job, a new career? Those things come to the forefront as the sun transits that. Another thing that takes place is our health, because that affects our daily life as well. So as the sun transits through that, we all start feeling a little bit more of a push to take better care of this vehicle that God gave us, right? eating better, working out more, putting more good in so we can get more good out, so we can really live in this life purpose that God's put us here through, right? That's another thing that happens as the sun goes through Virgo, okay, for the next 4 weeks. And speaking of Leo, we still have some more energy happening because Venus, the planet of love and money, is going to be going into Leo on Friday the 25th. This is also that same time frame when Saturn starts to leave its retrograde phase and starts to get its engines running again. Now, as Venus tours the sign of Leo over the next 3 weeks, you will find that in your love life, you're starting to focus more on what is it that I want? What is it that I need? I need appreciation for what I have done. That's okay. There's a healthy level of needing those things in a relationship. And this is the time when we're able to really give that back to others in return, especially if you're in one of those phases where Leo, or where Jupiter is trying to balance a relationship for you and bring it to a new phase like you haven't seen for 14 years and really mend things in relationships. This is going to be a great time frame over the next 3 weeks for that to happen, because you're going to be heard, because you're going to be appreciated. Now, another thing too, if this is a time frame when those relationships are ending, not only is the eclipse going to be making that happen and pushing it to the forefront, but Venus going through Leo is going to give you the confidence to get that done, to say I need to have this happen, and to make the changes necessary to see that through, okay? And it's also a time when Venus, the planet of love and money, becomes more selfish. It's okay to have a healthy level of selfishness, because you have to be happy first before anybody around you can be, and it helps you to greater understand your needs. If I could sum up this week in one way, it's the universe asking you, what do you need, person? What would make you happy? I've asked you, and your intuition's been repeating to you over and over and over again this year, what are your true needs? What are your true wants and your true desires moving forward on every level of your life? And you know what you can do? You can write them down in every area. Love, money, health, work. You write these things down, right, on a piece of paper, and you take that out there in this amazing eclipse that happens at 2:22, or you can take it out at night too. And if you don't have those things figured out, you've got the whole week where that energy is there, but it's at its peak tomorrow. Take that list out there. And because we're in this fire sign of Leo, it's very fitting to light that on fire. These are my wishes, my intentions, my desires. I am setting it free to the universe and giving this to you to change, right? Beautiful. So let's do this. We've already talked about that. We know what's going on here. Let's do our card reading for the week to see what Archangel is working with us through this very energetic time. I want to also remind you that, because I explained this to one of my friends the other day, because it's a really good analogy, that this is something that's been building for a long time, right? These changes have been building for a long time, and it's almost like a volcano, right? Or an earthquake. And those things don't just pop up out of nowhere, right? You get tremors, you get little pre-shocks that happen that let you know something major is going to be happening. Something that's majorly going to transform the landscape around you is going to be happening. So that has also been occurring over the past several months, since February, but especially the past couple of weeks when we were in the full moon phase of the Leo Aquarius thing, trying to liberate us from these things. But there's been a lot of dreams, lots of dreams. And if you can't remember them, don't feel bad, because it's your energetic level is trying to get in tune with what is happening energetically out here. This is huge. This is huge. When you look at that sun, there's more to it than just the bright light. That is what gives us the energy to do what we need to do to be us in this lifetime and to be happy. It's going to take a lot of energetic clearing. It's going to happen more so when you're sleeping at night, because that's when your conscious mind can't get in the way and be like, well, I don't need that. I don't want that. What's going to happen if I do that? Conscious mind, shush. You know, let it all take. Just don't worry about remembering these dreams. Let it happen. Let it flow. And that's it, right? Let it be and let God take control, right? Back to this reading. Oh my goodness. Okay, so let's see here. Let us pick a stone. My youngest son here, Jack, is nearby. Can you say hi?
Hi.
Stick your face right here. Hi.
Hi.
Hello, everyone. Now you stay with that, and I'm going to do the reading here for the week. Okay?
Yep.
Thank you. Let's see what angel's with us here. Metatron. Nope. No. It's Archangel no. Hold on. Why am I having such a hard time here saying his name? The Archangel of Scorpio. Okay, so I know there's a lot of Scorpios that are going through a lot of subconscious purging, a lot of realization of things from childhood and purging of things from way, way back. But that also goes with us all. Okay, Scorpio's angel here is Archangel Jeremiah. Archangel Jeremiah is the angel that comes to us when it's time to cross over into heaven, and he's the one that gives us our life review. He's the one that helps us accurately look at that time frame and say, this is what happened, this is what happened, and this is helping me decide if I want to stay where I'm at or if I'm going to go. How fitting is that he is here this week, helping us in these areas of major transformation to let go. Ask him to help you with his purple light, to help guide you and see the past accurately and know which direction you need to go moving forward, and have him bring you that support and guidance. So let's do that. Let's ask him to be our extra guiding force today as we look through and shuffle these cards. I'm going to do this 8 times because Scorpio rules the 8th house in astrology. The 8th house represents areas of major transformation and the things that happen to us as a result. That's death, that's trauma, that's crisis, sex, debt, taxes, all these things. They go into the 8th house, areas that are normally taboo, but they ultimately bring us the greatest transformations in our lives, and that's where we're at right now. One more time, I feel. Isn't that interesting? He's saying that our skilled work is rewarded, that we've basically learned as much as we need to know. We've been given all the information that we need to know, and now is the time to move forward. It's one or the other, right? So either you have learned everything you need to know in regards to one area, and now you're moving forward and you need to start learning something new in that way. Maybe it's going back to school, whatever it is, regardless, no matter what. This is a card that indicates that you are taken care of, that abundance is coming, that you've put in that hard work, and that good things are moving forward, okay? But there may be something new in your path that you need to learn in the process to make that happen. It's interesting, there's these mountains that are in this, and the stone that I pulled, that I dropped on the ground, also carries that same mountain look to it. I don't even know if you can tell. But it's so cool. Mountains, right? Climbing those mountains, and that's exactly where we're at. So let's pull a chakra card as well with that, just to get a little bit extra insight from Metatron. Metatron is the angel of Virgo, and of course we're moving into the sign of Virgo right now. This card, the 8 of Earth, is a sign that represents Venus and Virgo. And I feel that they want me to say that for a lot of people that are asking questions now for a time frame when it comes to love and money, when they're going to see some visible changes happen, is going to be when Venus moves into the sign of Virgo, which is going to be 3 weeks from now. Okay, so that's putting us into mid-September. I would keep an eye out more so for that at that point, especially when Mercury, the ruling planet for Virgo, goes direct. Energy is really going to be moving at that point.
I can fly. I can't fly.
One more.
Yeah. Can I pick it?
Quest. Isn't that cool? I think
Right.
that sums it up, right? There's a lot of things that are going here saying we've learned everything we need to in the past and we're moving to the future. Things that have died in the past that are moving into the forefront, and we're following our path moving forward. Ironically, it's a purple path, purple stone, and we're listening to, I'm seeing this, is Archangel Jeremiah, who's leading us to where we need to go. And in the process, there may be things that have to be let go, but he's going to help us accurately see which path we need to rock and roll in, okay? What a powerful week. What a powerful week. Listen to the angels around you. Know Archangel Jeremiah is around you. Know your guardians, your angels, your guides are around you as well, helping you in this majorly transformative time. Go within, right? Because that's where the answers are at. That is going to be where the clearest ones are. When you go to sleep at night, ask for them to help you understand. If you remember the dreams or if you don't, it's amazing that the energy is going to be working with you regardless. But another thing to keep in mind too is if you remember even one symbol, right? That's amazing, powerful guidance that you're getting. Get online, look right away. Dreammoods.com is going to tell you a lot of different symbols out there and what they mean. Ask for one and it will give you powerful guidance. They're working with you, okay? Everyone, I send you light and love. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.